I think one of the biggest challenges people have is like I meet Rhen, at an event. And I say, you know what? This guy, I think he's got some talent. I'm gonna recruit him to work for me as my acquisition guy.
Right.
And then lo and behold, 9 months later, after I teach Rhen everything I know, Ren's competing against me in my market.
Oh yeah, it happens.
So talk to me about what you guys have done to effectively make that less desirable for them to go do.
Well, one thing we did is we asked better questions in the interview process, and we tried to understand, are we hiring an entrepreneur or are we hiring an employee?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because there's a difference. You may have an employee with entrepreneurial tendencies, but an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur, right? They're gonna see it, they're gonna innovate it, and they're gonna try to go do it. And we want to understand if that's the case, because I think everybody should have the right, if they want, to go start their own business.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I've shifted my mindset through some previous experiences recently that I'll help you do it. I want you to go do it. And I want you to tell me, and let's get an exit strategy together and then go, right? But we want to create an environment where they don't want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Where we understand their why. We understand why are they there to make a paycheck? Because that paycheck's only the vehicle to help them accomplish their goals and their dreams. And if I can do that within the company where they don't have to leave, I'll have better retention, I'll have better tenure, and I'll have a better culture.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they're leaving to go do their own thing, they're seeking something that you're not giving them there at your company.
Right.
Which could be a bazillion different things, right? It
Mm-hmm.
could be anything. And so just asking better questions on the front end, and once they're there, understanding what they need and continuing to challenge them. Great people want to be challenged. A players want to be held accountable. And they want to continue to receive nourishment, if you will. You have to keep nourishing their soul.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
It makes
I feel
sense.
like I took the long way around there.
What are 2 or 3 things that you guys have done intentionally to make sure you're retaining top talent?
So I think I learned a great lesson. I have a buddy of mine that owns a Chick-fil-A, and everyone's experienced Chick-fil-A, and you know that they're probably the only one of very few fast food chains that do it right. You go there, you have a great experience. And so I really try to suck as much information out of that guy that he would give me, which was very little. But the one thing that I did get is in the back of their restaurant, they have a career path from how you can go from a cashier all the way up to a proprietor, to an owner of a particular location. And so I think that people want to know, what is their path forward. They want to feel like, if I choose to put in the work, can I progress and better my career and myself and my position in life? And that was one thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? We gave a path. Probably wasn't as well defined as we would have liked it to be, but they knew, because there was also, and we told the stories of other employees that had risen up, through the ranks and started, one gal specifically, she was making $30K and she's up making over 200, leading a whole division, started as a lead manager, become a higher up executive. So, giving them that path forward, continuing to challenge them in the right ways, and showing them that if you do the right things, here's the reward, and this is how you continue to sow the seeds of success, not only in your own life, but in others.
Right.
And so we were big on sharing and building that team and building that camaraderie, and then giving them an identity, right? I think that many companies are blind to the fact that, well, let's start here, right? I had this paradigm shift one time sitting in church. I was trying to hire a videographer. We needed some content, and I could not find one, and if I did find one, they wouldn't show up for an interview. And I was like, man, I must not be offering enough money. So we jacked that up to $75,000 for a guy to come in and shoot content. Still nothing, right? And so I'm sitting in church one day, and I'm looking around, and I go to a pretty big church in Alabama. There's one on every corner. But I just, because video production's on my mind, I really start to notice how great the video production in our church is.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking, I'm like, these are the greatest musicians around. This is the greatest production quality. Oh my God, there's like 15 camera dudes running around with Converse and hipster clothes on. And I'm like, they're probably here for free.
Yeah.
What are they doing right that I'm doing wrong? And then I was like, well, God.
Yeah.
They're here for God, of course. And I said, well, I'm not that. But then I asked another question. Well, what is God?
Mm-hmm.
And you could say it's a higher power creating the being or whatever, but what is that? And if you break it down to the micro, and what is the church? It's a community, it's connection, it's love, and it's a place where people come together to make the world a better place. And I said, that's it. If I can offer those things, community, connection, identity, and betterment of society, maybe these guys will come work for me for free too.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was big. That was huge. And we changed our entire, we rewrote our core values at that time. We changed kind of our mission statements and things like that. And we started to attract those type of people.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he has